Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching, this from. I'm very excited to bring to you uh, another module in the Green Mentorship School. How was your orientation? By now, you must have done your orientation. You must have been put on your you must have been placed on your WhatsApp groups, and then your timetables made available. So without further ado, let's just dive in. So this is a new module that is really very exciting. Let's go. So today's module is Green Mentorship School GMS 201, and it's titled The Servant Leader. The Servant Leader. I know it's a surprise because most people don't this is why it comes as a surprise. Most people don't imagine that being a servant and being a leader can come in the same sentence. Well, that's something you find in the Green Mentorship School. We tell you things as real as they need to be. To be a leader, you need to be a servant. And then we're going to look into all of that in a bit. So what is the objective of this module? We are saying that at the end of this module, you should know who a servant leader is, 1. Understand kingdom principles for leadership success, 2. Cultivate leadership qualities that prioritize empathy, service, and team or community building, and then be able to lead by example. So this is the objective of, today's today's module. All right, so let's go deeper into today's masterclass. So introduction. The first thing I would like to tell you in this module titled The Servant Leader is that you were designed to lead and follow. I'm sure this is another thing that will come as a surprise. The first thing that came as a surprise was that in order to lead properly, you need to be a servant first before you can lead properly. And there's a big difference between being a leader and being a ruler. Okay? Lording it over people, if you understand. Now, you were designed to lead and follow. That's the second thing that is going to come to you as a surprise. How can I lead and follow? Well, you were designed to lead and follow. And how do I mean? To just immediately and quickly explain it to you. You can be in an organization, you can be working for, let's say, ExxonMobil, and you are working as an employee. As an employee, you are more like a follower. Your immediate supervisors and every other person higher up, they are like your leaders. So in your mind, you're like, well, at my place of work, I'm a follower. So what do you mean by, I can lead and follow? Excuse me. So here's what we mean, or here's what I mean. In your workplace, in the example I just laid out, you are a follower. But let's assume that you're a man, and then you have a family of 5. So father, you are the father, then you have a mother, or you are the husband, you have a wife, and then you have 3 kids. In that setting, who do you think the leader is? So in the workplace, you might be a follower for now, whereas in the family setting, you are the leader of the home. So do you understand that we are all designed to lead and follow? Which leads me to one thing that people always wonder. Are we all supposed to lead? Yes, we are all supposed to lead. Even if you're a woman in that setting of husband, wife, and children, you are given the, in many cases, or ideally, you're supposed to be the house manager. You're supposed to lead the home. So when the husband goes to hunt, you are in charge of the home. So you are the leader of the home. You are the one that takes charge of the children, takes charge of the home. So the husband just provides, but you manage the home. So in that right, you're also a leader. You are following your husband, but you are leading the home front. Do you get it? So you can be both a leader and a follower. If that makes sense, let's go on. Now, but a good leader is first a good servant. And that's what I first said. A good leader is first a good servant, and to lead is to serve, and to serve is to lead. You understand what I'm saying? So, but a good leader is first a good servant. Before you can lay claim to being a good leader, you must know how to serve first. So a good leader is first a good servant, and to lead is to serve. what people do not understand, especially in African leadership, is they feel to lead is to lord it over. They feel to lead is to rule. Whereas in the actual fact, to lead is to serve. You serve the people, you serve your community, you serve your nation, you serve the continent, depending on your leadership capacity or your leadership position. And once you are serving, you are actually leading. You serve humanity. Leadership is about serving humanity, right? Yeah. So 3 C's define leaders. Let's take them quickly. The strength of their character. So before, every leader maybe a church leader, a political leader, whatever kind of leader, is a leader in your place of work, in the workplace, or a leader in your school. The 3 things you should look at that define great leaders is 1, the strength of their character. Some people think that once they can speak well, once they can influence people to do XYZ, once they can get things done, they are great leaders. Well, that's just a part of it. To be a great leader, it starts from the strength of your character. What do we mean by character? The way your values, the things that are important to you. For example, do you value people? For example, do you value people? There's a popular saying that most rulers, because I don't believe they are leaders, most rulers that they use people, and then they value things. Where it's supposed to be the other way around. They're supposed to value people and use things. So the strength of your character. How are you when it comes to integrity? How are you when it comes to honesty? How are you when it comes to empathy? How are you when it comes to emotional intelligence? The strength of your character is a big factor in being a good leader. Now, the second one is level of competence. Of course, you have to be a competent leader. What's leadership? Leadership is influencing people to to do a particular thing. So if you want to lead, a nation, for example, or your state, you're supposed to lead them to positive change. So your level of competence, be able to do that, and be able to solve problems for your state or solve problems at the local level if you're a local government leader, is key. Because most people, they just, like Nigeria, for example, the democratic process is more about people voting for you, whether you qualify or not. So level of competence is not so looked at as much as majority voting for you. So once you can get the majority vote, whether by hook or by crook, you just assume office, and then issues like character and competence are another matter. Okay, and then the third C is the depth of their container. That's capacity. The capacity to handle the challenges facing a particular country, if you are the president, a particular state, if you are the governor, a particular local government area, if you are the local government chairman, and on like that. So capacity. Do you have the capacity? Every time I think about capacity, the first thing that comes to my mind is the generator. A 1 kVA generator cannot power a freezer, right? Whereas a 5 kVA will do it. So capacity. Do you have the capacity for the problem and challenges that you have been tasked to fix? If you don't have the capacity, it will show, because you will flop as a leader. All right, so we've considered the 3 C's. You were born, please notice that you were born to influence the world with your gifts, 1, talents, and genius. So God gave you gifts, He gave you talents, He gave you genius, so that you can influence the world positively. There are people who use the same gifts, talents, and genius to influence the world negatively. But you, as a servant leader, you are supposed to use, number 1, you identify those gifts, then use those gifts, talents, and genius, to influence your community positively. Now, what is the quote of the day? Do you want to stand out? Then step down. Be a servant. This is according to Matthew 23:11, the Message translation. Is saying that this is the secret to being a leader. Do you want to stand out? Then you have to step down and be a servant. So the secret sauce to being a servant leader, or to being a great leader, is to step down. Step down from your high horse. Step down from your convoy. Step down from that exalted office and serve the people. Once you do that, then you're a servant leader. And then you can bring the kind of change that we desire, let's say, in our nation, Nigeria, right? So what are the qualities of a leader? There are many, so we'll consider them quickly. Number one, visionary thinking. A leader must have a vision. I'm going to be going a bit fast because I want to keep to time. I have a time stamp that I must follow, but don't worry, you will get the message in full. Qualities of a leader. Number one, visionary thinking. A leader must be able to see beyond the now. A leader must be able to see beyond the now. You must be able to envision a better place for the people. So in a country like Nigeria, if you were the president, for example, you need to be able to see where we are, that everybody is saying, but you need to also be able to see where we can be. You understand? Imagine, like, for example, let's assume I'm the president of Nigeria. What I'll be seeing as a visionary thinker is a place where there is constant light. A place where we're going to power homes with solar technology that is renewable energy. A place where all this arable land that we have. Remember cocoa house. Remember Southwest, how they use cocoa to do all kinds of amazing stuff like the cocoa house, Obafemi Awolowo University. I want us to go back into farming at a large scale, not hoe and machete or cutlass, but at a mechanized level. Imagine importing high level machinery from from Germany, from Holland, from China, and they will cultivate these lands left and right from Lagos to Maiduguri. We find that what each state is great for. Maybe Oyo is good for, let's say Osho is good for cocoa. What is Enugu good for? Maybe palm oil. So we plant what each state is great at. What is Benue best for? Maybe yam. We plant those things on a large scale. Then we feed the nation and we export to neighboring countries and then the world. That's visionary thinking. I don't want to take too much time, but that's what it means for a leader to have a vision. Everybody knows the current situation and the current problem. What we need is a leader that can see beyond the now and take us there. Leaders see the bigger picture, and inspire others to pursue a shared goal. Do you see? They anticipate future challenges and opportunities. They anticipate future challenges and opportunities. They know that to get from A to B, there are going to be some challenges. We need to import some machinery. We need to raise funds. We need to, do a lot of research and what have you. We will need time. We need to get the best team on board for this project. So they anticipate future challenges and future challenges that stands in the way of fulfilling their vision, and future opportunities that can enhance the fulfillment of the vision. Number two is integrity. A leader needs to say A and mean it. When you come and you say, we want to, let's say food, that in the next 3 to 5 years, or in the next 3 to 5 years, we are going to be self-sustaining in terms of food. You can't just say it in a press conference or in a public speech, and then 10, 15 years down the line, we are still not even half sufficient. So before you say something, you have to sit down with your team, do your calculations, do your research, and find out that, fine, in the next 5 years, in the next 3 years, for example, we are going to be able to get Nigeria to 100% self-sufficient level in terms of food. If you feel you are going to be able to achieve it in 3 years, then add 2 years for contingencies for anything that comes up, and then come and give your speech and say, in 5 years' time, we are going to be able to help. We're going to be able to get Nigeria to a fully food sufficient phase. And then if they are hoping that you will do it in 5 years, they should have started seeing signs by 6 months, by 1 year, by 2.5 years, and then you told them 5 years and you even achieve it in 3 years. You can imagine. Integrity brings trust, and trust is everything. Once people can believe that when you say something, you do it, and that even if you don't achieve it, you come forward in good time to tell them why you are not achieving it, a realistic reason that is, and then you refire, is going to be a big part of being a servant leader. Now, that is, a leader is honest, he's ethical, and leads by example. So you don't tell people to cut costs while you are living lavishly. You don't tell people to be honest, whereas you are the most dishonest people. You don't tell people to have the right work ethic whereas you are the one who comes to work anytime you like, or you are the governor of a state and you are really in your state, you're always at the capital or even abroad. So a leader is honest, ethical, and leads by example. Then integrity builds trust among team members and stakeholders. I just said that. Once people know that what you say is what you do, it builds trust, and trust is a big capital. It's a big social capital that can even give you billions. Imagine the people trust you, and then we now decide that, okay, the government is offering bonds and treasury bills. We want to raise $5 billion or $10 billion to fix roads, to do railways, to bring about electricity. The people believe in you, so they invest in it, at a level you cannot even imagine. Number 3 is emotional intelligence. So these things speak to character. So what is emotional intelligence? Leaders understand and manage their emotions and empathize with others. You must be able to mourn with people who are mourning, not like there's a disaster in a particular state and you are busy doing a party in another place, or you're busy traveling and gallivanting. Leaders understand and manage their emotions. If someone even comes and says something hurtful, you don't send the person to jail because you can. Somebody on social media says something that is demeaning, you don't say, okay, DSS or police or whoever, go arrest this person and lock him up forever. You don't do that. What you do is you manage your emotions. Are people going to get you angry as a leader? A lot. Are people going to insult you? A lot. Are people going to misunderstand you? A lot. Are people going to lie about you? A lot. But you need to manage your emotions. And then when people are in a situation, let's say for example, let's use the example of food sufficiency. You're trying to get Nigeria to a food sufficient state. While you're at it, you need to give a speech. You need to encourage. You need to come back and tell them that this is the level we have gotten, and on like that. Do you understand? These things are very important. When you do these kind of things, it helps people to trust you, to know that you actually care for them. Then they use this awareness to guide the relationships. So once they empathize, they use this awareness to guide relationships and resolve conflicts effectively. There's a way someone will come to you with an issue and a way that you're going to resolve it that it shows you don't care. So, take very big note of that. Number 4 is effective communication. You need to be able to communicate properly. A great leader communicates clearly, listens actively, and ensures everyone is on the same page. What does it mean to communicate clearly? To communicate clearly is to, like the example I gave, in 5 years, we are going to get Nigeria to a fully food sufficient level. All right. And then after that, we are now going to be looking to export the excess. All right. If you say that, make it so clear. If you say you're going to do this in 5 years, maybe you tell them that in 6 months, we are going to achieve this. In 12 months, we are going to achieve that. In 19 months. So you still further break the 5 years into bits, like months, that is relatable. And then if people have questions, you answer them and allay their fears and gain their trust that you know what you're doing and you'll be able to do it. Then what is to listen actively? When the people that you serve come to you with problems or challenges or complaints, you can keep quiet while they are talking, whereas you are not really listening. You're just waiting for them to finish so you can tell them what's really in your mind, or you even cut them halfway and tell them what's in your mind. That is not listening actively. Listening actively is that you are quiet, but you are considering what they are saying. And initially you might have a thought that you want to share, but when you hear what they have to say, you might begin to change your line of thought or your final delivery to them, your final opinion, your final say on the matter based on what they are sharing, because you'll be able to say, okay, wow, while you're listening actively, you're like, oh, I didn't consider that. Oh, I didn't know she was going through that. Oh, I didn't know the local government was this. Oh, I didn't know this. So you listen actively. That means when the person or the people petition you are there sharing their concerns, don't just wait for them to finish and dump your ideas on them. No, while they are telling you their bits, what really is the issue with them, you can use all of that information, to respond actively. So you don't interject them, you let them say their piece, and then your response shows that you actually listen and consider their opinion. Not that you take their opinion 100% of the time, but we are saying consider it and let it show in your speech, and ensure everyone is on the same page. Not like you're going north and they are thinking you're going south. So they inspire through words and actions. I've said that. When you want to achieve a thing, that thing will not happen immediately. If you want to build roads, fix all the roads all around Nigeria, it's not going to happen overnight. So you need to be able to inspire them, tell them how you're going to do it, give them information that puts their minds at rest, that especially if they've been under previous governments where trust has been an issue, you need to do much more work to ensure them to gain their trust, through words and actions. You must mean what you say and say what you mean. Number 5 is accountability. Leaders take responsibility for their actions and decisions, both successes and failures. Now, this is something that most African leaders struggle with. You need to take responsibility for your actions. When they have given you a charge, don't blame it on anybody. Take responsibility. Oh, I know I promised you in 6 months we're going to achieve this. We're not able to achieve it. I'm sorry, and these are the reasons. But give us another 2 months and we will be able to do it. So when you promise something and you even fail at it, you should come forward and own your failure and reassure them that you're going to refire again, and they will give you the required time you need to do it. But when I mean give you the required time, that means you're looking at yourself as a servant leader. Sometimes when you are a ruler, you're like, they are going to give me time. No, whatever time I want to do whatever I want to do for them, so be it. Then that means you're an autocratic leader. So, but when you listen to them, when you bring your programs that will really help them, you need to, when you fail at maybe the timeline, you come forward, you own your failure, and then you tell them that this will be redone in so time. They hold their team accountable in a supportive manner. So when the teams that are involved in the projects are failing or dropping balls, they're able to come in and inspire them. You don't castigate, you don't crucify, you don't vilify, but you actually ask questions like, what is keeping you from achieving this? Why is this not done? Yada, yada, yada. And, when you get feedback, you can help out, you can provide resources, you can support them to achieve the required goal. Number 6 is decision-making skills. You need to be able to know how to leaders make informed and timely decisions even under pressure. Yes, most times leadership making decisions is not going to come easy. They are going to have to do it under pressure. Imagine something that we need a year and you have to get done in 6 months. That is double pressure. So you need to deliver within that time, and that means you need to have the skill. You remember with one of the 3 C's for leadership, competence. You need to be able to come up with solutions in a timely manner, so you make informed and timely decisions even when you are under pressure. So, and servant leaders, they balance intuition. Intuition is something that you can't explain it, but you just saying, let's do this first, or let's do this now. Then data is, okay, how many people, we want to provide housing for Nigeria, low-cost housing. Well, how many families do we have in Nigeria? You need data. How many housing do we need to produce and do we need to provide in every state? That's data. And then you get input from others. You can put up a poll. What kind of housing would you want? Do you want a studio? We want to go into low-cost housing. Do you want a studio? Studio is going to cost so amount when we are done. Or do you want a 1-bedroom apartment? It's going to cost so when we are done. So when you put all of these things together, you're now asking them to make a choice. What is it going to be, guys? And you do a poll. So you involve them in the decision-making process, and they have that buy-in. They can trust you. They feel that you care for them. They feel that the opinion counts, and that is all one of the key things that matters when it comes to decision making. Number 7 is adaptability. So servant leaders remain flexible and open to change in dynamic environment. You can't, as a servant leader, say this is how it's been done and this is how it must be done forever. No. Even when you have an opinion on how something should be done, when your team or the people say, why don't we try this? Let's say, for example, electricity. You are thinking gas, that we have all kinds of gas, that gas plant, and we have gas that we are flaring in all these refineries. Why don't we use gas plants to provide power? And then somebody comes with a superior opinion, superior argument that solar will actually be better because it's renewable energy. When you flare this gas, it's gone forever, whereas sun comes every day, and imagine the kind of sun we even have in Africa, or Nigeria. So you are flexible. You're like, okay, so in your opinion, you feel solar is better, and then when they offer a superior argument, you go with them. Not that you are rigid and you're like, well, it is gas plant or nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So a servant leader is flexible and open to change, even in dynamic environments. Or you even started doing something, and along the line you find out that no, this is not the best approach. You find a better way to do it. You find a way to adapt and change to the current thing that will benefit the people the most, your constituent the most. So then adaptability enables you as a servant leader to pivot strategies when challenges arise. Not if challenges arise, they will definitely arise. So when they arise, you must be adaptable, you must be fluent, you must be nimble, like fast thinking, fast action. Adaptability enables you to pivot strategies when challenges arise, because in project implementation, in policy implementation, there are going to be challenges, but how well you adapt and change with the changing times is what makes you a servant leader, a very good one at that. And number 8 is servant leadership. Number 8 is servant leadership, which incidentally is even the title of this module. So leaders prioritize serving their team. So the key word in leadership is serving. You serve your team and you empower others to succeed. So that's the whole concept behind servant leadership. You don't lord things over people. We've already considered that. You actually serve people. To serve someone, you need to love them. To serve someone, you need to care for them. To serve someone, you have to have their best interest at heart. So leaders prioritize serving their team and they empower others to succeed. All right? Good. So, and then leaders lead with humility. So that's what I mean. You don't lord things over. You don't shout at the people who have put their confidence in you, have put you in position. You actually are humble, in discharging your duties. You put the needs of others before your own. So for example, you can't be carrying a convoy of 30 convoy, whatever, whereas your people are in penury or in poverty. That's very insensitive. So you put others people's needs. In fact, when you cut cost and say, okay, I don't need a 30 convoy or 50 convoy oddly, to move from point A to B, when that money, the fuel and everything can be channeled towards the provision for people's needs. Do you understand? When you begin to do that, people see that, okay, this person is humble, this person cares for us, this person is here to really serve us, not to use us, and then they respond accordingly. So that's that for that. So we have come to the end of this module. I promise to keep this below 30 minutes. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you. If you have questions, please use on the YouTube chat. Come there and drop your questions. If you're on our group chat, that means you're part of GMS cohort 1, then please come to the group chat on WhatsApp and drop your questions. On Saturdays we do that 12 to 3. We allow you to come and ask questions and all that. Or you can DM Tommy, who is the group admin on WhatsApp, and get you in. And in case you're wondering, go to the description how you can be a part of this. If you just chanced on this video or this course, go to the description. You will see a Google form. You click it, you fill it, and then we'll add you to the school. If we are far gone in GMS, in GMS cohort 1, which is Green Mentorship School cohort 1, then we'll put you on the waiting list for cohort 2. Please, as usual, please like, please share, please subscribe. People need to hear this. The number one problem with in Nigeria and Africa right now is a leadership problem. We have enough resource, we have enough human capital. What is left? The missing piece is leadership, and you could just be the next leader to bring change in your community, in your local government, in your state, and in your nation. Thank you so much. It's me again, Benga Richmond. Looking forward to taking the part B or the part 2 of the servant leader. Bye for now.